So the books I read in February is P.S. I Love You and its sequel, Postscript. So I like to read seasonal things or throughout the year. So when it came to February, I was like, I should probably like read some type of like a romance novel or something like that. And I think P.S. I Love You had turned 20 years last year. And so when I was like researching what type of, romance, not necessarily like romance fantasy drama or fantasy genre, because that is just too toxic for me. So whatever like general fiction or just something that is like a light romance, kind of like a Nicholas Sparks or some or like a Debbie McCumber or something along those lines. And I saw that P.S. I Love You, I think, turned 20 years. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll read that. I've seen the movie years ago when it came out, but I never read the book. And the book is actually like pretty thick. So it took me a little bit longer to read it. But I really enjoyed this book. I think that knowing that the author was like 18, 19, or 20 or something like that, maybe she was 21 when she wrote that, is like pretty impressive, because she just seemed really wise at like such a young age in terms of coming up with the concept of, writing letters. Maybe people have done that in the past. I don't know. But I think it was just like a great idea, especially for someone who's young and who's a widow and had this future like planned out with their husband and it didn't go according to plan. And to have like something really special and romantic that their spouse did for them. I think that's just really sweet, and you don't really probably see that today. And so hopefully it kind of gives inspiration for people that maybe, are leaving a loved one behind and, doing something extraordinary for them. Not just really help remember them, but maybe for some type of closure. And I think it was just beautifully written. It is a longer book. I think this one's like 400 or 500 pages. It's like 450. But I think it's not necessarily the ones that are like drawn out. It's really good with like the time, because I think because it's 12 letters. I believe it's 1 year. But the way that it's written, it's like it has like a nice flow to it. And so like I wasn't ever like bored reading it. Because sometimes like long books, sorry to anybody who likes Harry Potter, but like all the good stuff happens in the last 100 pages of the book. It's like you got to read the 400, 500 pages to get to like all the good stuff. Maybe that's why I stopped reading after the third book. But it's definitely just like a nice comfy read. And it's really sweet. I really like the family dynamic in this book as well. She has like 3 siblings, I think. Yeah, 3 siblings and then her parents. And I really like the family dynamic, even just like with her younger brother, being at college or university and kind of like pushing her out of her comfort zone by, starting, just like making the videos and things like that. So if you haven't like read the book and you've seen the movie, I would definitely like read the book. There's just so much in it that when I rewatched the movie, I think the guy's name is Daniel. They like totally like changed him in the movie. I was rewatching the movie and I was just like, I don't know, I just don't like what they did with Daniel. And because the book is 450 pages, you don't really get to see the development of the relationships of the characters in the book with Holly versus like the movie. So I really wish they established more of Holly and Daniel's relationship, because I feel like it was written really well in the book. So I would say, I didn't really like that aspect. And then even like the romance in the movie is different than the book. So yeah, because she doesn't have a romance, I don't think, with the best friend. I think that was added because she definitely kind of has something with Daniel. I don't remember. But anyways, so I would definitely recommend that one. I did read the second one, which is called Postscript. I don't remember how many years ago this book came out. I think this book came out like 2012 or something like that. So it's been quite a bit after the first book. Okay, so 2019 was the original copyright. So it actually came out like 15 years after the first book. And this one was pretty good too. This one's actually like really short. But this one, I'm trying to think how many years it takes place afterwards, because she's in their like mid to late 30s in the second one. And it's basically about her, she's in a relationship with this guy. So it's basically about her coming to terms whether or not she wants to like marry or establish what type of relationship with this guy is, whether it's like fully love or she just was someone just to be with someone. But it kind of opens up about her, I think her sister ends up doing a podcast. And so they do an episode and she shares her story, and it goes, like spreads around, and people like really loved the story. And so they really want Holly to help them create letters for their loved ones when they are passing away, because there is a group of like cancer patients or something like that where she ends up going to visit them, and they all want her to help her write the letters. And because it's been quite a few years since he's passed, it's like she doesn't even like want to bring it up anymore. So she kind of like struggles with like, well, maybe I'm meant to do this, or maybe I'm not supposed to do this. And so she ends up doing it, and she kind of like learns a little bit about her decision kind of at the end of the book in terms of, can she move on from Jerry? Because that's basically what it's about, is that can she move on from her deceased husband? And is it time to move on because it's been so long? And so that's kind of what it is. It's kind of just like the journey of her figuring out her current relationship while helping these, sick patients write letters to their loved ones, and how much it means to them. So that's basically kind of what it is. I actually liked it. It wasn't, like I said, it was a book about a journey, so not necessarily like you're trying to get to an end goal. It was just kind of, this is just like one part of her life that's happening. And so it's not like it's not like other things where it's just like, okay, let's see what it is like at the end. It's just like the way the beginning was exactly how the ending was. And so it was just basically about this little project that she did, and then you're just kind of reading about the project and basically what she learned about it. So it wasn't anything like there isn't really necessarily like a climax or anything like that. It's just kind of what this story is. So that's what I would say about that. I think they were good overall reads. But I mean, it's just kind of like a sad, I guess, like cozy. Like, I didn't feel joyful after reading the books because it's like a sad situation. So I feel like there's a lot of sadness in these books. I don't know if they're supposed to be like happy or not, but you do feel a bit of sadness in them. But I would definitely read, especially P.S. I Love You. I think it's really well written, and the second one is great too. I think it's just I don't know. It just seems very mundane, which is really nice because then it's just more relatable in that way. It doesn't have to be like super extravagant. It doesn't necessarily have to come with a lesson. It's just kind of, you get a glimpse into this woman's life and her journey. So yeah, I would recommend the book to anybody who wants to read it.